Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 217. In this episode, it is going to be a solo episode with yours truly, and I'm going to go behind the scenes a little bit, share the deets, how you can start your own coaching business. If that's at all of interest to you, definitely check out this episode. But you know what? If you're not interested in coaching, it's still helpful in life. It's still helpful to know how to ask good questions and how to talk to people. So even in your friend relationships, right? It's good to know how to have a conversation and ask good questions and have your friend or family or other people walk away feeling like badasses and feeling confident in themselves. And around here, we are always lifting other badass women up or other badasses. It doesn't just have to be women, but we're lifting each other up and helping each other thrive. So check out this episode about starting a coaching business. It's a different kind of episode, but I know that you're really going to love it. With that, let's get to the episode. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I am so glad you're here. Today, it's going to be a different kind of an episode. We are going to talk all about coaching, and I'm kind of doing a little behind the scenes, letting you know how I started my coaching business and how you can start one as well if you're interested. I think that coaching can have a huge impact. It can actually be a game changer for people. Words are hard. It can be such a game changer. So low overhead costs. You don't have to have a lot to get started, but gigantic results for your clients. And that is what's exciting to me. It's like you can help somebody and they can come into a call feeling crappy, like feeling down, right? And maybe beating themselves up about stuff and really just in the weeds. That's what it comes down to. They come on the call, they're in the weeds. They don't see a way out of where they're stuck. And you help them to get out of the weeds and to see the possibilities. But really, the key is them. It's not you as the coach. The key is them. It's what they have inside. It's what their hopes and dreams and desires are. And you help to bring that so that they can get out of the weeds and start taking action and moving their life in a direction that's in alignment with them and their values, right? A lot of times that's what gets us in the weeds or what gets us feeling down is when we're not doing things that are in alignment with our values. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the coaching process in case you're interested in starting a coaching business. Again, like I said, low overhead costs, but huge results. And you really get to see the transformation in your clients, which for me is super exciting. So one of the things that I think is super important for a coach is to ask good questions. Instead of thinking that you have to have all the answers, instead, ask good questions. Really dig in to what people are going through. Don't just stay there on the surface level. Dig in deeper, right? Now, I gotta say, that's one of my favorite parts is digging in deeper and really finding out more. And maybe that comes from like the law enforcement side of me, right? Where you're taught to ask more questions and don't just take something at surface value or what somebody says at surface level, like, oh, yeah, tell me about that. And honestly, that is one of my favorite things is like, tell me about that. Tell me more. And ask open-ended questions. That's a big part of it, not something where somebody can just say yes or no. It's tell me about that. And yeah, that would be very boring if that's all that you said, but that is one of my favorite lines, because it really opens people up. And also, you can repeat what they said. Oh, I heard you say this. Can you tell me more about that? Can you expand on that idea? So then that gets them talking more, right? Gets the client talking, gets them more engaged, and it also helps you to learn more about them, to go a level deeper. Sometimes it's deeper than like what they're telling their friends and family, which is very powerful. So, yeah, they're being vulnerable with you. So you have to respect that and be gentle with that, right? But ask questions. And I think it's just a matter of helping people get clear on their vision and what they want in life. So when they're saying they want something, dig into that some more. Find out more. Why is it that you want that? And then each time you can do like the 7 layers exercise, or 7 levels deep. And so when they say they want something, why is that? And then they get their answer. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? You keep going and see where it ends up at, because sometimes at our core, what we really want is a whole lot more than what we say we want, right? Like, I want financial stability. Why is that? Because financial stability is important to me. Why is that? Because I didn't always have financial stability growing up. Okay, tell me about that. And just keep going and asking more. And so maybe their parents or grandparents struggled and moved to this country from somewhere else. And so they had nothing, right? And they brought their kids and their grandkids up to all this stuff. So it's really important to the person, to your client, to not have to go back there, to help support their kids so their kids don't have to go through that. And getting to those deeper levels, it's so much more impactful. You like how I got shivers there? If you're on video, you can see it. If not, meh, no worries. But I just kind of made a weird gesture, but it was just because the impact that comes from that, or the realizations people start to have. And there's also, when you realize the deepest motivation, when you help them get that 7 levels deep, then that's even more motivation for them going forward, right? It pushes you more than just the surface layer. I want to have a lot of money. Meh. Most people want to have a lot of money, right? But that doesn't really mean anything until you go the 7 layers deep. So you can help your clients start to ask those questions and dig and find out what is really important to them and why it's important to them and what it would mean. And also coming up with a vision and helping them really get clarity on that vision and dive deeper into that vision. And you can listen to the next episode, which is all about establishing a vision, creating a vision for your life and your future and your dreams. Listen to that episode if you want to go further into that, because you can definitely do that exercise with your clients and help them have a huge impact and see what is possible for them for their life and be able to visualize that, because that is huge. I'm telling you, we'll hit on this in a little bit, but hope is huge. And that really can propel us forward to new heights and new things. So you want your clients to be able to have hope that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish, what they set out for. And it doesn't have to be business, right? It can be the house of their dreams, or the car of their dreams, or retiring in Hawaii or any certain location. There's a bunch of things that are out there. Maybe it's just that they start picking up one of their passions again, like art. They start painting and they haven't painted in years, or start photography and they haven't done that in years. But like the thought of it gets them stinking excited, and you could help them with that. So it's not just about you, right? As a coach, it's really not about you at all. I mean, yes, it is in the sense like you're helping foster this transformation for them, which is amazing. But I always had this idea that as a coach, I had to do so much talking. And for me, this little introvert, that was intimidating, because I was like, I don't talk a lot. What am I supposed to do? How can I be a coach if I'm really not that talkative? I would tell myself these stories, right? We all have these stories that we tell ourselves. And really, that doesn't have anything at all to do with being a coach. Being a coach is listening more, talking less. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Being a coach is listening more and talking less. So you don't have to talk to provide value. Of course, throughout the conversation, you're going to have to speak up a little bit, right? You can't just sit there and be a mute and be like, and not say a thing. That's not going to work. But I think there's so much pressure out there, or we put so much pressure on ourselves of all the stuff that we're going to have to do, all the stuff that we're going to have to say. And what if nothing comes to me and I don't have anything to say? Then what? I'm going to look so stupid. The whole mindset thing, right? We go down this rabbit hole in our head. But the beauty is, as a coach, you can be an introvert, you can be an extrovert, and you can be a great coach. But remember, it's not all about you doing the talking. You just have to, like we said, or like I said, ask good questions, right? Be a good listener. Help them find that transformation that they're looking for. And that's another part of being a coach, is helping to uncover the answers. If you're asking good questions, you're asking the right questions. Like, why did you hop on this call today? What brought you here? Tell me what your end goal is. What would make this coaching call a win for you? Or what would make working with me a win for you? And so you walk through it and you find out what the win for them is. Okay, their big dream is being able to own their own business, right? And so you help them have the hope for that. You help them see what is possible. And hope, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but hope is huge. It's like having somebody believe in you, having somebody in your corner that's breathing light into you, that's helping your dream come to fruition. And heck, if they think you can, maybe you can. And sometimes that's all we need, right? We have this feeling in us often that we want to do this certain thing, but it feels so intimidating, like a big audacious goal, and it feels so out of reach. And so if there's somebody that can help us breathe light into that, or to give us hope that it can happen and make us think like it is a possibility. And if you're asking the right questions as a coach, you're going to help them come up with the answer. You're not going to have to give it to them. You're not going to have to say, hey, do this, do that. Yeah, there is a time for implementation, but like some of the biggest aha moments come when clients are coming up with the answers themselves. You're leading them down a path, right? They might not see where it's going, but you do. So sometimes you have to reflect and ask yourself, what question that can I ask them to get them to an aha moment, or to get them to really reflect? And a lot of those questions really do come from listening, and they come from recapping. You listen to what the client is saying during these coaching calls, and you reflect that back to them. That is a huge part that we often forget, right? So it's, okay, from what I'm understanding, from what you said, you want to do X, Y, and Z. And then, you know what? Here's what stands out to me from listening to you, from talking to you. Here's what really stands out to me is that you get excited, you get fulfilled, you get like a spark of joy when you talk about Z, right? Tell them what it is that you saw in them that like seem to light them up, or like get them like talking and going. You just see a different in like their persona, their demeanor. And so tell them that. Tell them. Because sometimes they don't see it for themselves, or sometimes they see it and they just needed a little bit of affirmation that that was true, right? And one of my friends recently, and I'm so proud of her starting her own business. She's absolutely kicking butt. But before she started her business, we were talking about, what she wanted to do. And I was like, honestly, she's in the healthcare industry, and I always saw her being in the beauty industry because she loves like beauty products and doing things with beauty. And so I always thought she would be involved in something like that. And I said that to her. And then from there, she just like started going like quick, like, let me get a website, let me get that, let me start my Instagram account, and started doing all these things and getting all these trainings. And so now she does microblading on eyebrows, and she's a total badass. She is killing it, doing amazing. But sometimes just one suggestion from somebody can just set you on a chain of events that you never could have expected, right? And now I'm not saying that had anything to do with me. It did not. She is a badass. She took actions and started doing the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. But it's like if somebody tells you something that like you can relate to, right? You're like, oh yeah, that feels right. Then take it and run with it. Maybe even write it down. Put it somewhere where you can remember it. And these actions you take don't have to be huge. They don't have to be gigantic. They can be the tiniest of steps. But when something lights you up and gets you excited, then put that somewhere to where you can remember, right? Set little reminders. Don't let that flame go out. And so as a coach, you get to do these things for people. You get to help reflect back what you see and what's possible for them and what sparks joy for them. And then that can just completely set them on a journey on its own. So I'll tell you, next episode, we walk through like a visualization exercise, and it's so stinking helpful. It really helped me. And I'll talk a little bit on that episode about how it was frustrating for me. And I'd done the exercise in so many different places before, and I just kept hitting a wall until I didn't, right? And so that one time I didn't, it completely changed things for me. But after I did that exercise, then I hopped on a coaching call, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So I did that visualization exercise and just had all this belief in myself and all this excitement for what was possible. It just made me, yeah, just excited. That's all I could say. Like truly just embracing the future and like giddy about what could happen and what it would look like. And what if this stuff all came true? What if just one of those things came true? That would feel pretty epic too. So it just got me excited. And then I talked to my coach, and it was amazing because not only did I have this belief in myself, but then I was talking to somebody else who had this belief in me too. And I felt like they could take me to higher levels because there's all these things that we do to get in our own way. And a coach can help you move past those. And maybe I'll talk about those in a different episode, the benefits of a coach or how a coach can help, because I've hired several coaches in the last probably 4 years, and it's been amazing. It's transformed my life. Never before would have I hired a coach. I was going to say too stingy, but I don't know how I can say too stingy when I was $106,000 in debt, right? But I was spending money on stupid stuff. And I'm not saying that you can't go buy yourself nice clothes or a purse or the things that you want, but I was spending money on stuff that really didn't provide me any value. Because I say this because I would be ordering stuff and just leaving it in the packaging, right? It wasn't providing me any value. I wasn't getting anything from it other than that instant like click. I don't know why I did click with 2 hands. Like click on the mouse is usually 1 hand. And so it wasn't providing me with anything. But at that point, never would I have spent money on coaching just because I wasn't in the right mindset. And I also did not know the benefits. And that's the thing, is as a coach, you can share your benefits. You can help show people how they can get over whatever it is you're working on. If you're working to be a health coach or a mindset coach or a financial coach, right? Whatever it is, you can help people show or help show them the other side of things, which is huge. And I know going through my health coaching, going through financial coaching, that is really where I learned it's all about the mindset. And it really shocked me how many similarities there were between health coaching and financial coaching, and how it really doesn't have anything to do with the food or the weight. Or on the flip side, for financial coaching, it doesn't have anything to do with the money or the spending, which we think is the core issue. And it's not. It's absolutely not. It's all about the mindset, which is why I decided to become a mindset coach. Just small tweaks in the ways that we think about things can have a major impact and major results in your life. So definitely, I would love to hop on a call with you if you want to have a coaching call with me to see what it's like, or if you want to talk about your coaching business, hop on a free 60-minute call with me. ordinarytobadass.com/coaching is where you can find out more info. I know that this would be a lucrative career for you. You can get training if you want. You can absolutely get training. I know I got training. I went through Kelsey Murphy's course. Of course, I can't remember the name of the course, but it was really good. I went through her course. I also had went through the health coaching, financial coaching to learn how to coach in those industries. But far and away, probably the best thing that I did was I read Steve Chandler and Rich Litvin, The Prosperous Coach. I cannot even tell you how many times I've read and listened to it. Definitely listened to it on Audible 2 or 3 times. And then for those on the video version of this on YouTube, you could see the book that I'm holding up, The Prosperous Coach. So yeah, I got the book, the handheld copy, because I like to highlight, but I also got the Audible copy. So when I walk or run or something, I can pop it in my ear and listen to it as a good reminder. So I would say check that out first. Check out The Prosperous Coach, super helpful in building a coaching business. And then also hop on a call with me. See what it's like to get coached for 60 minutes. See if you like it, how it feels, and then what transformation you get. It's huge. It can be so helpful. So ordinarytobadass.com/coaching to hop on a free 60-minute call with me. Now, there's no like caveat or there's no pressure at the end of it that you have to buy a coaching program for me. Absolutely not. I just want you to see that the impact this can have, and then also it will help you if you're considering a career in coaching. It can help you decide if you want to do that. So just a quick recap. First part, ask quick questions, or ask good questions, not quick questions, and make sure that they are open-ended. Then the second thing you can do is help people get clear on their vision and what it is that they want. Again, you can also listen to the next episode with the visualization exercise because that's helpful. And then listen more and talk less. Just because you're not talking doesn't mean that you're not providing value. Next, help your client uncover the answer that they know in their heart, but they're afraid to admit. Sometimes they just need permission. And then reflect back to them what you see, what you hear. What did they talk about that lit them up and brought them excitement? Point that out to them. And then allow for possibility, allow for hope. That is a huge part of it. If you can help them get excited to feel hope for the future that they're dreaming of, then you are gonna get a client, right? And they're probably going to tell their friends about you and tell other people about you. So definitely help them find hope and possibility. And then if you want to go to a certification program, definitely do that. And as I said earlier, I would recommend the Prosperous Coach book. All right. I'd love to talk to you. You can find me or your free coaching call at ordinarytobadass.com/coaching. With that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.